Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original rock and roll geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, 2016, when I'm recording this show, and it is 4:44 p.m. I'm on my way to Featherwitch practice, so I have to do this show in my car again. So it's another driving with Butler. I've been working all day, so I had no time to sit in my studio and record a show. So if this sound sucks, I apologize. Today is day 13 of the dog days of podcasting. And pardon me, I'm burping up this not so fine Diet Coke because I'm trying not to drink and drive. Although I do have a 6-pack of Tecate in the cooler behind my front seat, and I am using Yeti. I'm probably using a Yeti knockoff beer koozie to store one of those. And keeping the beer cold is an actual Yeti ice pack, which is an overpriced ice pack. The ones that you get at the sporting goods place made by Coleman for $3 work way better than the $20 one from Yeti. Just a little tip for all you people who are ice pack aficionados. So anyway, I'm driving up to Featherwitch practice on day 13 of the dog days of podcasting. That's when several other nerds and I attempt to do a show a day for 30 days. And today is day 13. Is it 13? Something like that. We're almost halfway through. On my way to Featherwitch practice, we practice in Petaluma, which is about, it's about 30 miles north of San Francisco, but it takes an hour and a half to get there. So I'm sitting in traffic. I'm sitting in round one of traffic. You go through two phases you go through three phases of traffic. I'm sitting in phase 2. The first phase is on 19th Avenue to get to the Golden Gate Bridge. I know this is really exciting, but I'm going to say it anyway. And then once you get past the Golden Gate Bridge, when you get into Marin, you deal with some more traffic, and then when you get towards Petaluma, the real traffic begins, and it is completely stopped bumper to bumper because it goes from a 4-lane freeway to a 2-lane freeway, and the powers that be have no intention of widening that 2-lane freeway anytime in our lifetime. So we are going to be stuck with traffic for the rest of our lives as long as I practice in Petaluma. Featherwitch practices in Petaluma because we live in several different. Some of us live in Santa Rosa. Some of us live in Lagunitas. Some of us live in Oakland, and one of us lives in San Francisco. All right, that's not important. I'm on my way to Featherwitch practice, and I'm doing a Dog Days episode because I don't want to have to do one at 11:30 tonight. I got a few audio comments. Please keep more coming. I will do some of those upcoming. I'm going to do a track by track upcoming as well. And I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. I have the fish coming tomorrow, so maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. Who knows? But tonight, somebody actually sent me an email saying, hey, can you bring back This Day in Rock segments to the Rock and Roll Geek Show? Because I missed those. So, and it's been years and years since I've done a This Day in Rock. So why don't I attempt to do one of those while I'm driving? Now, when I'm doing it while I'm driving, I'm going to have to read. So it's going to, not only is it a driving with Butler, but it is a reading with Butler while driving. It's not dangerous at all in stop and go traffic. It should work out just fine. It should. Let me take a sip of this not so fine Diet Coke. That is one of my vices. Diet Coke. I consider Diet Coke to be more of a vice than beer. I'm kind of addicted to the Diet Cokes. I got to get off the things, but when you're eating Doritos, which are also extremely healthy, Diet Coke sure does go down good, friends. All right. Born on this day, August 16th, in 1949, Scott Ashton, the drummer for Iggy and the Stooges. He played on Raw Power in 1973. It would sound a lot better if I had some background music. So why don't I do that? I only have 2 songs on here, so I'll play the one that I had yesterday. So I'll do that in the... No, it's not going to work. Forget it. It's not going to work. All right, I'm swerving, playing with my phone, everything. Okay. Also born on this day, 1953, was James Taylor. Also born on this day was INXS guitarist Tim Ferriss in 1957. You know who INXS was. I actually went down when I had a super producer, Shane. INXS was on a TV show, Rockstar INXS, and Shane made it arranged for me to go down there and sit in on a recording session during the making of that TV show and interview all of the contestants. And I also interviewed every person in INXS privately, because they were auditioning people to replace Mike Hutchins. I'm not a huge INXS fan, but that was a good time. I interviewed every guy separately, and I did my research, and I think it turned out pretty good. Unfortunately, those are on the Podshow servers, and they will never be found again. Thank you, Podshow and Ron Bloom. Also born on this day in 1958, Madonna. Yes, Madonna. If you never heard of Madonna, she had a few hits back in the 80s. Also born on this day was Mudhoney's bass player. All right, LL Cool J born on this day. Yay, LL Cool J. One of the girls from the Dixie Chicks, Emily Robeson, was born this day in 72. Vanessa Carlton on 1980, born this day. And on this day in 1977, Elvis Presley, his girlfriend was looking for him because he hadn't gone to date. His girlfriend found him in the bathroom at Graceland. I'm trying to read it. We're going over a fast curve here. No traffic right now. His body was found by, I'm going to try to read this, reading with Butler. His body was found by his girlfriend, Ginger Aiden, in the bathroom, and she summoned his friends Joe Esposito and Al Strada and his doctor, who just happened to be in Graceland at the time. Maybe she called the doctor. That's probably more like it. All efforts to revive Elvis were futile. They said he had probably been dead for many hours by the time his body was found. He had not gone to bed at his customary time between 6 and 7 a.m. So he usually stayed up all night, and he would go to bed at 7 in the morning. That sounds pretty good. That's pretty rock and roll, actually. Memphis Fire Department, at 2:30 p.m., the Memphis Fire Department arrived at Graceland to rescue him. Wait a minute. So his girlfriend, I'm trying to figure this out now. His girlfriend found him in the bathroom. Did she find him in the bathroom in the afternoon or in the morning? I'm going to say in the afternoon, because if she found him in the morning and it took the Memphis Fire Department till 2:30 p.m. to get there, that's pretty damn bad. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that she found him at 2:29 in the bathroom. Okay. So they attempted to revive him. They rushed him 7 miles to the Baptist Memorial Hospital. I think that's probably where he was born. And he was pronounced dead on arrival after a 30-minute attempted cardiopulmonary resuscitation. He was pronounced clinically dead at the steps of the Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. I don't know who announced him, but that's when they announced it to the press, I guess. Okay, I'm trying to read this. I'm steering with my knee, maneuvering my phone with my left hand, and trying to hold the microphone away from my shirt so it's not doing this with my right hand. So this is not dangerous at all, not in the least. All right. Elvis was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. on the 16th of August 77 by his physician, Dr. George Nicolopoulos. Dr. Jerry Francisco, chief medical examiner of Shelby County, conducted the 3-hour autopsy on Elvis upon Vernon Presley's request. I don't know who Vernon Presley is, but I'm sure some Elvis fans know. I'm not a huge Elvis fan. I actually know where I was when that was announced. It was 77. That would mean I was 15 years old. I think I was watching MTV. Was MTV done yet? I want to say that it was, but I don't think MTV was started that early. See, I do remember where I was. I was in my mom's living room, I believe, on Forest Boulevard in Jacksonville, Florida, because I was still living with my mom. I moved out of my house shortly after that, I think when I was like 16. Why? I don't know, because I just wanted to be on my own. And that's not important to the Elvis being dead story. All right, so the autopsy was performed at Vernon Presley's request. Dr. Francisco ruled Elvis died as a result of coronary arrhythmia, which was an irregular beating of the heart resulting from myocardial infarction. Elvis's real cause of death revealed more than originally reported to the media, because the media wanted to retain Elvis's, as the king of rock and roll. They didn't want to say anything bad about him. Turned out he really died of a drug overdose, as everybody knows. So the month of August turns Elvis fans all over the world into to memorials of Elvis. Many fan clubs organize events to remember the life and times of their idol. Others, like the person who wrote this article, will play their favorite Elvis CD and reflect. Millions more will watch the vigil live on Graceland's cam. So if you are an Elvis fan, chances are you might be watching a live webcam of the Elvis Memorial at Graceland. There you go. Well, that's what happened on This Day in Rock. Whoever requested that, be careful what you wish for, friends. All right. So to close out, I'm going to play a song not by Elvis, but a song about Elvis, written by Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy fame. Phil Lynott did a solo album called Solo in Soho I think it came out in 1980, if I remember right. I don't have the Wikipedia in front of me. I think it was 1980. He put out a solo album called Solo in Soho, and this song that he wrote about Elvis was called King's Call. And playing on this song is a way underrated guitar player by the name of Mark Knopfler from a band called Dire Straits. I'm not a huge Dire Straits fan, but Mark Knopfler is a ripping guitar player, and he's got an unmistakable guitar tone. When he goes to the solo and all the guitar parts, you will know it's Mark Knopfler. So thanks for tuning in, friends, to this day 13 of the Dog Days of Podcasting. Find me at rockandrollgeek.com. Call area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Or you can send me an MP3 to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Record it on your phone, hit the send, and email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. And I will play it on the Dog Days of Podcasting. I can use some more content, so be nice to play your comments, friends. You can also find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. And thank you, everybody, for the donations. Please keep the donations coming. I got 2 more donations yesterday. They're on the show notes for the donors. I will thank them on the next donor segment when I do a regular Rock and Roll Geek show. Thank you to the 2 new donors. And I believe both of those 2 new donors are females. How do you like that? I like it a lot, friends. All right, here's Phil Lynott, King's Call. We will talk to you tomorrow, friends.
It was a rainy night, the night the king went down. Everybody was crying, seemed like sadness had surrounded the town. Me, I went to the liquor store and I bought a bottle of wine and a bottle of gin. I played his records all night, drinking with a close, close friend. Now some people say that that ain't right, and some people say nothing at all. But even in the darkest of night, you can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. Well, they put him away in Memphis, 6 feet beneath the clay. Everybody was crying, everybody said it was a plain gray day. Me, I went to the liquor store and I bought another bottle of wine and another bottle of gin. I played his records all night and I got drunk all over again. Now some people say that that ain't right, and some people say nothing at all. But even in the darkest of night, you can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. I wonder if you're lonesome tonight. Say that that ain't right, and some people say nothing at all. But even in the darkest of night, you can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. And now the stage is bare, and I'm standing here. You can always hear the king call. You can always might as well bring the crowd down. You can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. I cried the night the king died. You can always hear the king call. Always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call. You can always hear the king call.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.